and the drum beat carries on. We must stand together. There's no giving. Hand in hand forever. That's when we all win. That's when we all win. That's when we all win.
And welcome to KBLP. We're live with The Walking Dead. Sorry it's a little late tonight. Had to work later, so there you are. I'm going to start off by saying I don't understand some of these critics or whatever. They're saying this is the worst season, season 8, and I can't figure out why. I think it's been awesome. Yeah, it's been maybe a little slow in spots or whatever, but we're building up. I think the first episode when they arrived in their armored cars was freaking awesome. Yeah. Hey, Chris. Hey, Valerie. Hi, guys. Yeah, they're really dissing this season, and I can't figure out why. Maybe because, I mean, one of the best episodes, of course, was when Glenn and Abraham. I mean, that was one of the saddest moments in Walking Dead history. But how can you top that? Well, we're building up to only 2 more episodes, mid-season finale already, guys. Already, crazy. So we're building up to the final battle with Negan, and of course, in this episode, we kind of went back and saw what everybody was doing. Of course, which we need to do. There's different, the good guys in different areas. So, they're really dissing this season. I can't figure out what the problem is. And of course, we lost Shiva. Oh, terrible. So I just have to say, well, maybe you're not watching the same show I am. That's all I can say. So, anyway, this episode, of course, opens with Rick, Maggie, and Carol. They're all the respective leaders of the factions, and their letters back and forth to let everybody know what's going on, what's been happening, and what's happened to the battle that's been, going on for the past 5 episodes. And actually, it's only been like 2.5 days, but this is, an ongoing thing. Of course, they sustained heavy losses, especially the Kingdom. They just about lost all their warriors there, except for Jerry and King Ezekiel. But Rick claims victory, which, in a way, they have. Yes, the sanctuary is surrounded by walkers. Their supply route is cut off. They have no water or power. So, in essence, yeah, I would have to agree with him there. And the sanctuary is surrounded by scouts. So anybody opens the door, bam, you are gone. And also, Rick reveals that the Saviors have 2 days before they return. And they are going to definitely, of course, they're going to demand a surrender. So, but the correspondence, back and forth between the factions is pretty good, Everybody knows what's going on up to this point now, for sure. Rick has a plan, obviously, in 2 days. So, it seemed part of the plan, we knew he was going to go see Jadis, the trash people over there, or they're actually called the scavengers, but I call them the trash people. And of course, we know they betrayed, the trash people betrayed Rick once already. So, they aligned with Negan. That wasn't a good thing. Still, with the tide shifting, he knows he can't just leave him out there to be a problem for later. That's the issue here. He has to find out where they stand and if they'll, come over to the right side. He shows them the Polaroid photos he's been taking throughout the battle to prove that they really whipped the Savior's butts and into some kind of submission. And he offers her a one-time, that scene opens with her doing her sculpture there in nothing but a leather apron. It must really be hot there. That's all I can figure. And nothing else. And, the trash people, garbage pail kids. Yeah, the garbage pail kids. And she's busy doing this sculpture and nothing but a red leather apron, nothing else. And then there's one guy that walks by. It's like, whoa, buddy, okay. That was kind of a surprise. But he has Polaroids to prove what's been going on. And he offers them a one-time deal to switch sides again and be a part of the new world. And of course, Jada's there. She's a person of few words. Sometimes we don't understand those words, but that's okay. Despite the fact they must have spoken properly at some point prior to the apocalypse, Jada simply says no and takes Rick prisoner. Surprise. It's like, wow, why would you do that? Which leads me to think something else is behind the scenes here, which I think we may see in the season finale, which we have 2 more episodes. So I think there's something else in the works behind the scene. I don't think she's just with Negan at this point. And then back at Hilltop, you have Maggie, Gregory, and Jesus. They're struggling to figure out what to do with the POWs that were brought back. And, of course, Gregory, he suggests they build a gallows and start executing them. Of course, why not? Of course, Maggie isn't ruling out that option, though, believe me. And it seems as though she allows the construction of the gallows to begin. And it goes on all night long. But in the morning, it's revealed that the building is of a prison, not a gallows. Of course, Gregory's protesting, yada, yada, yada. But Maggie has already decided, basically, they talk about she said she's been grew up on a farm in the sheep and wolf's clothing, and therefore she's throwing Gregory into the cage as well. So bully for Maggie for doing that. Finally, get him out of the picture. And you say, of course, he's whining and carrying on. Oh my God, what a wimp. He just made a scene from, you were taking his favorite stuffed toy away or something. He really pitched a fit about that. They should build gallows, I'm sorry. Maybe not all of them. Jared for sure. Hang him. That's what I say. So, and while this is going on, Carol goes without Ezekiel to meet Rick in an effort to catch up on the characters that weren't able to go on to the big battle. We see that Carl has been tracking the stranger he met that we saw in the first episode, Sadiq. And Rick scared him off, firing into the air. But Carl, I don't know, for whatever reason, has to go out and find him. He finds out his name is Sadiq, and Sadiq is making walker traps out there. And him and Carl start talking about their moms. And it turns out Sadiq's mother believed that killing the dead sets their souls free. So basically, that's what he's doing. And of course, Carl, being Rick's son, of course, begins asking him the prerequisite questions for someone to join the community. How many walkers have you killed? Have you killed any people? Etc. And on the way, they encounter a group of walkers, which looks like they're badly outnumbered, but they do win in that. And Carl helps them free their souls, but it almost cost him his life. Now Carl quit going. These people do not listen to orders for nothing. You have Michonne, Rosita, Carl, Aaron. These people, they don't listen. They were told to stay put. Have they? No. And of course, the bad decision train keeps moving with Michonne and Rosita. Hey, they were injured, of course, in the initial melee with the Saviors. And they hated that they couldn't be there to bring down the sanctuary, but Michonne has to see it. She has to see for herself. It simply to lay eyes on it so they can feel better, I think, what's going on. However, they discover two saviors at a secret weapons cache. They hear music, and they're like, where's this coming from? And they find this place. And these saviors have a truck rigged with speakers. And the reason for that is they're going to take it to the sanctuary to draw the herd of walkers away from there. Therefore, so Negan and his people can escape, leave there. They can get out. And despite blowing one of them up, Rosita is freaking awesome in this. She really is. I love it. Rosita. They get into a match with these two in there. And it looks like, Michonne is going to get it. She's in a weakened state, so... Rosita finds this rocket launcher and just does it. This guy goes sky high. She sets it off, and he's like blown sky high. It was a great moment. It really was like, oh yeah, awesome. So anyway, back at the scavengers again, and Rick tries to speak her language. Okay, one-word sentences, but. And now remember, she says, I shot you. And he's like, no, you only grazed me. If you shot me, I'd still be mad at you. So, they kind of call her Miss Spock. She didn't shoot him, she grazed him. And he keeps reminding her of that. If you had shot me, I'd still be mad at you, he basically says. He delivers his ultimatum. And she says, no, talks too much. Yep. To the shipping container sweat lodge you go. Back at the kingdom, life is slowest at the kingdom. They're in mourning, and and here comes little Henry. That's Benjamin's little brother. He's so hungry for vengeance that even Carol's trusty scare speech can't curb his bloodlust. He's a little he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with later, I think. It's a little wishful thinking that Henry turns out to be a preternatural killing machine. So he gets his first firearm, and Carol's like she needs to talk to Ezekiel, really. And this was a really great moment in this episode. Finally she's going to blast the door open, but here comes Jerry. He says, the door's unlocked, you can go in. That kind of, you got to leave it to Jerry. He's always good. He's just awesome. I love Jerry. And poor Z can't even muster the strength to speak, his Shakespearean monologue there. It's so sad because she walks in and he's sitting there holding Shiva's leash, and it's like, oh, that was horrible. That was horrible. One of the worst moments. And your heart could, their hearts kind of thawed a bit. Carol and Zeke kind of admitted they're catching feelings, I guess. And Carol can find she's just like him, playing a role every day, because that's what their people need. Zeke is broken, though. There is no